first place I ever worked in LA was the set of I Love Lucy.
Wow.
I wrote a show, a pilot for USA Broadcasting, run by Barry Diller.
Sure.
How did you get that job? Because you had no writing experience. You did this thing in Miami. You show up here. How do you get a job writing for a TV show, writing a pilot in LA?
I'm in New York working as a part-time radio talk show host, and then I went back into law because I'm starving. And I read this thing in the paper, in the Broadcasting and Cable, saying, oh, they started this thing, Barry Diller did, it's local, and they're doing interesting original programming. I'm like, nobody's doing original TV programming. That's what I want to do. That's what I did the Cable Access show. I talk and I fucking sit there and I argue. I do everything I can, and I get on a pilot as a host. And so the show was called Men's Room because it was about 5 guys sitting around talking. It was like the Man Show. You remember on Comedy Central?
Sure, of course.
But it was actually before the Man Show. I'm like, fuck, I made it, and it's a fucking good show, and it's a good pilot. I can't believe I did it, and I'm a TV host, right? I started with Malcolm Fleshner in public access. No one knows. They're like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Mankowiz's show sucks, and it's not getting any ratings. So they killed all the pilots, and they decided not to do any more shows. So they killed our show, and I was like, fuck, now I'm in Miami. I moved down here, right? And I had it, but I don't have it anymore. I worm my way into, then I do the Hubcap Heaven ad, and I do interstitials on the side when I'm doing sales. And then I get a big break. They need an entertainment reporter. I try out for entertainment reporter. They give me a week. On Tuesday after the 7 o'clock show, 3 shows in, like, you're out. Okay, no, you suck at this. Okay, you'll never be anything in this town. Anyway, and they said, but the anchor really likes your writing. He thinks you're really clever, right? Anchor's Ben. And he wants you to, we've been trying to fill the writer position for a long time. Will you take the writer position? Internally, I'm devastated. And so I'm like, writer, yeah, of course, very excited to do it. Oh, right? I thought I was going to be one of 12 writers. I show up the next day. They're like, no, you're the only writer. You and Ben are going to write the whole show together. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a little better. And then Diller does sell it. He sells it to Univision. And so when he sells it to Univision, everybody moves to LA. And
because that's where show business is.
That's where show business is. There's no other jobs in Miami. None, right? So I actually went to New York for 6 months, and I was like trying to be a writer for Letterman or whatever. Like, fuck off, kid. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. I worked on 3 pilots before I started the Young Turks. You can see why none of them got made, okay? One was The Love Report, which was like, oh, let's try it, right? And then they watch it. They're like, what are we, fucking crazy? We can't put that on TV, right? Right? So another one was a game show combined with a talk show, a late night talk show. So they'd be like, and I remember Vivica A. Fox was on the pilot. So, yeah. Hey, Vivica, how's it going? How was the latest movie? Great. All right, now let's spin the wheel.
That's crazy.
Okay.
No, well, here's the way to make that work. You go, well, we're excited to have you on the show. We've got a bunch of questions up here on the wheel. Let's take a spin and see what the first one is. That's how you do it,
That's right. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have thought of that because I was one of the writers. That's the story where Ben is up for the hosting gig, and I'm in the room while they're trying to decide because I'm one of the writers, okay? And everybody's talking about which host they liked best out of the ones that auditioned. And where the main guy deciding said, no, Ben's got too much of a New York intellectual look, which you know is code word for Jewish, right? And they had said about a black host, well, we're looking for somebody more Midwestern. I'm like, guys, this is not fucking subtle, man. I don't know if you're trying to be subtle, but it ain't subtle.
If you recall, Hillary Clinton, she had a list of who her cabinet was going to be if she won, and under education, it was like possibly African American.
The third show, by the way, was recreating amazing stunts in the movies, but in real life. This is my favorite because I'm like, it's not in real life, it's on TV. So we're just recreating a worse version of the stunt. They're like, okay, go back to writing, okay? Like, we're not interested in your opinions about this show. That's the one that made me quit, TV writing, because that's the one where they said, can you write this more in Daisy Fuentes' voice? So finally, we start the Young Turks, and we find, Ben and I started, we're like, okay, we'll just fuck TV writing and all this shit. Let's just start our own show like we did in Miami, but we'll do it on the radio. So we can say whatever we want and it'll take longer and it'll be more relaxed and we'll talk about the news. And then I found a way to get into Sirius satellite radio. And then we're like, yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have a female co-host? We're like, how about that girl on the Love Report? That's super fun. Jill Pike.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we met Jill Pike on the set of I Love Lucy. And Jill Pike's dad is John Pike, who greenlighted Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wow. Come on. Come on, everybody.